You ever get that feeling you're handed this giant spreadsheet or maybe a database file, and you know there's something amazing inside, but you're also just completely overwhelmed? Well, today, we're going to talk about the essential first step of any data project, exploration.
See, before you can build some cool AI model or uncover those game-changing insights, you have to face the raw material. And let's be honest, data in its raw form, it kind of feels like you're drowning. It's just a lot to take in.
Because that's really what it is, isn't it? It's this massive, complex thing, just full of numbers and text. An intimidating wall of information that, on its own, doesn't actually tell you anything. It's basically just noise.
And that, right there, is the million-dollar question. You've got all this potential sitting in front of you, but faced with this sheer complexity, where do you possibly start, How do you turn all that noise into a clear signal?
Well, there's actually a brilliant analogy for this, and it's something we all do without even thinking about it. Let's call it the library book test. It's the perfect way to think about how we should approach a brand new dataset.
I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? You don't just grab a random book off the shelf, open to page 87 and start reading. No way. You get a feel for it first, you look at the cover, you read the summary on the back, you check if it's what you're looking for. We have to do the exact same thing with our data.
And that, my friends, is what we call data exploration. It's not about jumping in and trying to find the final answer right away. No, it's about spending a little time getting to know your data, understanding its basic shape, its personality, and the story it might be trying to tell you before you commit to a deep dive.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we make the data speak to us? How do we skim the pages of our dataset? Well, the single most powerful tool we have for this is visualization.
Think about it. Our brains are just wired for visuals. It's so much easier to spot a pattern in a simple chart than it is in thousands of rows of numbers. A good visualization lets us understand what's going on in seconds, and, this is key, it helps us tell that story to other people.
And you've got so many tools in your toolbox for this. You've got the classics, like bar charts for comparing different categories, line charts to see how things change over time, and of course, scatter plots, which are awesome for spotting relationships between two different things. But you can get even more sophisticated. A box plot, for example, is super powerful. It doesn't just show you an average, it gives you a whole snapshot of the data's range, the highs, the lows, and where the majority of the values are bunched up. This makes it amazing for quickly comparing different groups side by side.
Or you could use something like a bubble chart. This is so clever. It lets you see the relationship between three things at once. You've got your usual up and down and left to right axes, but then the size of each bubble adds a whole third layer of information. Each of these charts is like a unique lens, helping us see the stories hidden inside the data.
Okay, so we've seen the tools. Now let's make this really concrete. Let's imagine you're trying to build an AI model to answer a pretty cool question. Can we predict if a new song is going to be a hit?
So, first things first, you'd have to gather your data. You need info on stuff like what's currently trending, the song's genre and tempo, how long it is, and, of course, how popular the singer already is. All of that becomes your raw material.
Now, before you start building some complicated algorithm, you just explore. You could make a simple bar chart to quickly see how popular different singers are. And boom, that one simple chart could instantly show you something huge. Like, hey, it looks like a handful of superstars are way more likely to have a hit than anyone else. And that single insight, that's gold. That simple visualization helps you understand a fundamental trend in your data before you've even written a line of complex code. It confirms that singer popularity is a really important factor, and that helps you design a much smarter strategy for the AI model you're going to build later.
And this right here brings us to the most important takeaway of this whole explainer. The mantra for anyone who works with data should be this: explore before you model. It is absolutely not an optional step.
So why is this so critical? Well, you explore first to get a quick feel for the trends and patterns, but also to spot any problems, like weird data points or missing info that might mess you up later. All of that helps you figure out which kind of model is even right for the job. And finally, it gives you some killer visuals to explain what you're finding to the rest of your team.
And it's really important not to get this confused with the step before it. Data acquisition is just about getting the data, gathering it from different places. But data exploration is that crucial next step, understanding what the data you just got actually means. One is gathering the books, the other is reading their covers.
So the next time you see a spreadsheet or a data set, try not to see a wall of numbers. See it as a library full of unread books.
Because with the right tools, you can start to uncover the most incredible stories hidden right inside. The only question is, what stories are out there, just waiting for you to find them?
We are about to reach 100 subscribers. Please like, share, and subscribe to complete the target.